leaves behind a wife, Courtney Love, a one-year-old baby daughter, Frances Bean, and one of the greatest bands in rock and roll. Our condolences to all of them.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're exploring the controversial and tragic phenomenon known as the 27 Club. The so-called club refers to the unusual number of prominent musicians and artists who have died at the age of 27. While not an official grouping, the term has become a cultural fixture, symbolizing a tragic pattern that combines talent, fame, and often a tumultuous lifestyle. We're going to dissect the history, key figures, and the theories that attempt to explain why so many influential artists' lives ended at this specific age, offering a comprehensive look into one of the music world's most enduring mysteries.
When he went to jail, she spiraled downward very quickly.
The roots of the 27 Club can be traced back as far as the early 20th century. One of the earliest and most notable members was Robert Johnson, a legendary blues singer and guitarist whose death in 1938 set a spooky precedent.
A famous blues man, a beautiful wife, a jealous husband old enough to be her father, a glass of poison whiskey, all the makings of a tragic ending.
Johnson's life and death were enveloped in myth and folklore, notably the story of his supposed pact with the devil, which only added to the enigmatic aura. However, it was in the late 1960s that the concept of the club began to solidify in the public consciousness. This period, characterized by a revolution in music and counterculture, was marked by the untimely deaths of several iconic stars. Brian Jones, the founding member of the Rolling Stones, died in 1969, a loss that was followed by the deaths of Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, and Jim Morrison, all within a 2-year span. These artists were central figures in the industry and embodied the spirit of the era's counterculture, magnifying the impact of their deaths and highlighting the recurring age of 27.
Right beside the ocean on our moonlight drive.
To understand the significance of these deaths, it's important to consider the cultural and social backdrop of the 1960s and 1970s. This era was marked by significant political and social upheaval, with movements for civil rights, opposition to the Vietnam War, and a burgeoning counterculture that challenged conventional norms.
Peace, man.
See what I mean? Groovy.
Rock became a voice for this generation, and the artists at its forefront were viewed not just as musicians, but as cultural icons and avatars of youth rebellion. The lifestyle of rock stars during this period often involved excessive substance use and a disregard for conventional living, factors that undoubtedly contributed to the untimely deaths of many artists.
What are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do about it?
The deaths of these 27-year-olds were seen not just as individual tragedies, but as symbols of the larger struggles and dangers of a generation pushing against the boundaries of society. The pattern of influential rockers dying at 27 continued beyond the 1970s. Kurt Cobain, the frontman of Nirvana, whose death in 1994 was a huge cultural shock, became one of the most notable unfortunate members of the club. Cobain's death revived interest in the phenomenon and added a modern name to the list, linking the grunge movement of the 1990s back to the rock and roll legacy of the 1960s and 1970s.
Why do you feel so bad?
Why?
Uh-huh.
Because I want to. It's my fault. All my fault.
In 2011, Amy Winehouse's death brought further attention to the club. Winehouse's struggles with substance use and mental health issues were well documented. Her death sparked renewed discussions about the pressure of fame and the vulnerabilities of young artists in the modern entertainment industry.
She said, if I could give it back, just to walk down that street with no hassle, I would.
There have been numerous other significant musician deaths at age 27, including from vehicular accidents. While the club is primarily associated with musicians, its scope has broadened over time to sometimes include artists from other fields who also died at 27, such as artist Jean-Michel Basquiat.
Where do the words come from?
Real life books, television.
Yeah, and you just skim them and start including...
No, I mean, when I'm working, I hear them, and I just throw them down.
This expansion highlights the fact that the pressures and challenges leading to premature deaths at this age are not confined to musicians alone. Statistically, it has been the subject of much debate. Researchers have analyzed death patterns among musicians to determine if 27 truly is an age at which deaths are unusually common. Studies have shown that while there is a slight increase in the risk of death for musicians in their late 20s compared to the general population, there's no significant peak at age 27. This suggests that the concept of the club may be more of a product of human tendency to seek patterns and meaning in random events than a verifiable statistical phenomenon. There are various psychological and sociological theories. Some experts suggest that the age of 27 is a tumultuous period in human development, often marked by introspection and a reevaluation of one's life and choices. The combination of access to substances, the stress of fame, mental health issues, and the physical demands of touring and performing can create a perfect storm for tragedy. Another theory posits that the lifestyle of many musicians, characterized by irregular schedules, lack of sleep, substance use, and the pressures of fame, can lead to physical and mental health deterioration.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Los Angeles, California, the Bears!
This lifestyle may not necessarily be more hazardous at 27, but the cumulative effects can become particularly pronounced around this age. The concept of the 27 Club has also been perpetuated by the romanticization of early death in the music industry. The idea of living fast and dying young has been a recurring theme in rock and roll mythology.
Fast, die young, bad girls do it well. Fast, die young, bad girls do it well.
This misguided and wrong-headed view of early death as a form of artistic martyrdom can influence both the public's perception and the artist's own view of their lifestyle choices. Media portrayal and fan culture have contributed to the mystique. The media's focus on the tragic aspects of these artists' lives and deaths often overshadows their artistic achievements. This sensationalism can perpetuate the myth of the tortured artist, potentially influencing young artists' perceptions of what it means to be successful.
And I just said to her, if you want me to help you, I'll help you. I love you, but I don't like who you've become, and I don't want to be around you.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
The repeated pattern of talented artists losing their lives at a young age has led to increased calls for better support systems for artists. Many critics argue that the entire concept of the club glorifies unhealthy lifestyles and detracts from the real issues at hand, such as the need for mental health support and safer working conditions in the industry.
See, heroin was my main man, but now I'm on the methadone and I'm getting my act together, and you come here and say you want to help. And I say, hey, far out.
The 27 Club remains a complex and multifaceted phenomenon. While it can be partially explained by statistical data and rational theories, its cultural and emotional resonance of the club goes beyond mere numbers. It embodies the intersection of talent, fame, tragedy, and the human tendency to seek patterns and connections. It not only symbolizes the loss of great artists, but also serves as a reminder of the fragility of life.
Is it fun to be famous?
People who are really famous end up total reclusives and they don't do anything.
Why do you think the tragic 27 Club is such a widely known phenomenon? Let us know in the comments. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.